Good evening. It's Miss Dolores from Baldwin Borough Public Library. Welcome to our second edition of Baldwin Bedtime Books. Tonight we're going to continue our fall theme. We've already done things like pumpkins and apples, so tonight we're going to do something warm and delicious. We're going to do a Stone Soup Storytime. So I hope you can gather your family and get a nice warm blanket, and we're going to be telling two stories tonight and do a fun song and a fun activity. So our first story tonight comes from an author named John Moth, and this is one version of the story Stone Soup, but there are so many versions. This version, the author chose to take place in China. So we are going to see in this version what happens when people work together and come together to make something happen. Stone Soup by John Moth. Maybe you had some soup this week. All right, so you can see the stones they're putting in the soup. How many stones do you see? Can we count them? 1, 2, 3. Good job. 3 monks, Hawk, Lock, and Sal, traveled along a mountain road. They talked about cat whiskers, the color of the sun, and giving. What makes one happy? Saw? Asked Hawk, the youngest monk. Old Sue, who was the wiser, said, "Let's find out." The sound of a bell brought their gaze to the rooftops of a village below. They could not see from so high above that the village had been through many hard times. Famine, floods, and war had made the villagers weary and untrusting of strangers. They had even become suspicious of their neighbors. The villagers worked hard, but only for themselves. There was a farmer, a tea merchant, a scholar, a seamstress, a doctor, a carpenter, and many others, but they had little to do with one another. When the monks reached the foot of the mountain, the villagers disappeared into their houses. No one came to the gates to greet them. And when the people saw them enter the village, they closed their windows tight. Okay, so they didn't want to be around the 3 monks that came to their village. The monks knocked on the door of the first house. There was no answer. Then the house went dark. They knocked on a second door, and the same thing happened. It happened again and again, from one house to the next. These people do not know happiness, they all agreed. But today, said Saw, his face bright in the moon, we will show them how to make stone soup. They gathered twigs and branches, and they made a fire. They placed a small tin pot on top and filled it with water from the village well. A brave little girl who had been watching came to them. "What are you doing?" she asked. "We are gathering twigs," said Lock. "We are making fire," said Hawk. "We are making stone soup, and we need 3 round, smooth stones," said Saw. The little girl helped the monks look around the courtyard until they found just the right ones. Then they put them in the water to cook. "These stones will make excellent soup," said Saul. "But this very small pot won't make much, I'm afraid." "My mother has a bigger pot," said the girl. Okay, so it looks like she's the first one to talk to the three monks in the village. Let's see if there's more. The little girl ran home. As she started to take a pot, her mother asked what she was doing. "The three strangers are making soup from stones," she said. "They need our biggest pot." Said the girl's mother. "Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to do that." Okay, you can see them all looking out of their windows now. The monks poked the coals. As smoke drifted up, the neighbors peered out from their windows. The fire and the large pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. One by one, the people of the village came out to see just what this stone soup was. Okay, so instead of looking out of their window, it seems like they're going to come outside now and see how to make this soup. Of course, old-style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper, said Honk. "That is true," said Locke, as he stirred the giant pot filled with water and stones, "but we have none." "I have some salt and pepper," said the scholar, his eyes big with curiosity. He disappeared and came back with salt and pepper and even a few other spices. Saw took a taste. "The last time we had soup stones of this size and color, carrots made the broth very sweet." "Carrots?" said a woman from the back. "I may have a few carrots, but just a few," and off she ran. She returned with as many carrots as she could carry and dropped them into the pot. Okay, so sometimes when we make vegetable soup at home, we put carrots in, or chicken noodle soup we put carrots in, so they're going to put carrots in their stone soup. "Do you think it would be better with onions?" asked Hawk. "Oh yes, maybe an onion would taste good," said a farmer, and he hurried off. He returned in a moment with 5 big onions, and he dropped them into the bubbling soup. "Now that's a fine soup," he said. The villagers all nodded their heads, as the smell was very agreeable. "But if only we had some mushrooms," said Saul, rubbing his chin. Several villagers licked their lips. A few dashed away and returned with fresh mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, and cabbages. All right, so they're going to add all those ingredients to the soup. And what do you see over here? Look, so many people are pitching in and getting ingredients for the soup and helping each other out. Something magical began to happen among the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And as this happened, the soup grew richer and smelled more delicious. "I imagine the emperor would suggest we add dumplings," said one villager. "And bean curd," said another. "What about cloud ear and mung beans and yams?" cried some others. "And taro root and winter melon and baby corn," cried other villagers. "Garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds. I have some," people cried out, and off they ran, returning with all they could carry. The monks stirred, and the pot bubbled. How good it smelled! How good it would taste! How giving the villagers had become. All right, so all of these people went home to find ingredients and spices to put in the soup to make the soup taste really good. And they're all working together and helping each other out. At last, the soup was ready. The villagers gathered together. They brought rice and steamed buns. They brought lychee nuts and sweet cakes. They brought tea to drink, and they lit lanterns. Everyone sat down to eat. They had not been together for a feast like this for as long as anyone could remember. Okay, what did their working together bring about? Look, it brought about happiness, and them working together and becoming friends. And look how many people are sitting down and being able to enjoy this delicious soup. After the banquet, they told stories, sang songs, and celebrated long into the night. Then they unlocked their doors and took the monks into their homes and gave them very comfortable places to sleep. Okay, the monks were just visitors in the village, so they didn't have a bed there, they didn't have a home there. So some of the villagers took them in so they could have a good night's sleep and have a bed to sleep in, like you do. In the gentle spring morning, everyone gathered together near the willows to say farewell. "Thank you for having us as your guests," said the monks. "You have been most generous." "Thank you," said the villagers. "With the gifts you have given, we will always have plenty. You have shown us that sharing makes us all richer." "And to think," said the monk, "to be happy is as simple as making stone soup." So I hope you enjoyed that story. I read about this story. I have not actually done this story in a story time before. I've done other versions of it. But I thought it might be good for our times and for showing what working together can truly mean, especially, well, to anyone really. But we set examples for our children in working together, and I think this book speaks volumes in doing that, showing teamwork, showing friendship, showing what can happen when we work together. So, Stone Soup by John Moth. All right, we're going to do a little song, and it goes to the tune of "The Farmer in the Dale, the Farmer in the Dale." Do you know that tune? Okay, and I'm going to show you some items that we're going to use to pretend to make our own soup, and then we're going to sing that song. Okay, so you can see we have a big pot like they had in the story. And if you help your grown-up make soup, the first thing you're going to need to put all your ingredients in is a pot. I also have a nice wooden spoon. I'm sure you have a lot of these at home because we're going to need to stir everything up. Okay, so we're going to start like in the story. They put a stone in their soup. Now I know when you're at home you're not going to put a stone in, but this is a tradition, a European actually tradition, that they would put the stone in for flavor, and then when they served it they would take it out. So we're going to start out with "The Stone Goes in the Soup," sung to the farmer in the dale. Are you ready? The stone goes in the soup, the stone goes in the soup. Okay. We'll stir and stir and stir some more. The stone goes in the soup. Can you think of another ingredient that we can put in our soup? How about a carrot? You ready to sing about that? The carrot goes in the soup. The carrot goes in the soup. We'll stir and stir and stir some more. The carrot goes in the soup. Can you think of another ingredient that you would put in if you were making soup? What do you think? How about a pepper? Do you like red pepper? I love it. All right, you ready? The pepper goes in the soup. The pepper goes in the soup. We stir and stir and stir some more. The pepper goes in the soup. All right, can you think of another ingredient that would go in the soup? How about, what is this? That's right, celery. Ready to sing about it? The celery goes in the soup. The celery goes in the soup. We stir and stir and stir some more. The celery goes in the soup. Okay, how about this? What is this? Right, a potato. Ready to sing? The The potato goes in the soup. The potato goes in the soup. We stir and stir and stir some more. The potato goes in the soup. All right. Do you remember in the story, there were two spices that went in first? Do you remember what the spices were? You probably have these on your table every night. Do you know what this is? Salt, right? Ready? The salt goes in the soup. The salt goes in the soup. We stir and stir and stir some more. The salt goes in the soup. Okay, you have salt, and then what's the other one? Pepper. Are you ready? The pepper goes in the soup. The pepper goes in the soup. We stir and stir and stir some more. The pepper goes in the soup. Okay, I think we have all our ingredients. You ready? Now the soup is done. Now the soup is done. We eat and eat and eat some more. Now the soup is done. Give yourselves a big super clap. You are awesome. And you can sing that song with your favorite vegetables. So maybe you like pea pods, or maybe you like corn. Maybe you like different vegetables in your soup, and you can sing all about the ingredients you like too. Our second story tonight is called Carrot Soup, and it's written by John Siegel. Maybe carrots are one of your favorite things, but have you ever had carrot soup? I have not, but we know bunnies love carrots, so let's see what happens. It was spring, Rabbit's favorite season. It was time to plan the garden, order carrot seeds, and look forward to enjoying his favorite food, carrot soup. Okay, so these are different types of carrots that you can find at the store. Did you know there were so many different types of carrots? There are even white carrots. They're called lunar white carrots. Rabbit plowed and planted. So you can see him sprinkling the seeds. He's planting all his carrot seeds. Rabbit watered and weeded and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. So sometimes when we plant things, we have to wait a really long time to see any of our work start to pop up out of the ground. Until finally, it was time to pick the carrots. Rabbit gathered his tools and his wheelbarrow, and off he went. All right, so his carrots are grown, and now it's time to pick those carrots, and he wants to make his favorite thing, which is carrot soup. But something was terribly wrong at the carrot patch. Rabbit looked up. He looked down. He looked over and under and inside and out. Rabbit saw roots and rocks and dirt and mud. But what Rabbit didn't see, what don't you see? What is he out there trying to pick? Do you remember what he planted? That's right, carrots. Do you see any? What he didn't see were carrots. There were no carrots. They were gone. Oh no, look at his face. He's really upset. Where'd all his carrots go? You can see the holes where the carrots were. Looks like somebody pulled them out of the ground. Rabbit went to see Mole. Mole, have you seen my carrots? Rabbit asked. Someone has stolen my carrots. And Mole said, Rabbit, you know I don't see very well. Why don't you ask Dog? Okay, so here's the mole in his little hole. He didn't take the carrots, and he's asking him to go ask the dog. Dog, someone has taken all of my carrots, said Rabbit. Have you seen them? I don't care much for carrots, said Dog. Why don't you ask? Cat. Do you think the cat took the carrots? Look over here. What do you see in that basket? And even in this basket, I should have pointed that out before. Okay, when you see the dog, what does he have in that wheelbarrow? Do you see carrots? And then you look over here, and why don't you ask the cat? Do you see what she has in her basket? That's right, some carrots. Cat, I was hoping to have carrot soup tonight, but my carrots have disappeared, said Rabbit. Have you seen them? Carrots? Asked Cat. Why would I be interested in your carrots? Perhaps Duck knows something about carrots. Look at this picture. All right, there's Dog with his wheelbarrow again, but there's Duck. See what Duck has? That's right, has some carrots, but is saying, no, I don't have any carrots. Rabbit asked Duck, have you seen my carrots? I prefer fish to carrots, said Duck. Pig will eat anything, though. Maybe he has seen your carrots. Oh my gosh, look at all of these carrots they have. But he doesn't even notice that they have them. But Pig was nowhere to be found. No carrot soup tonight, thought Rabbit. How does his face look? Does he look sad? That's right, he's very sad. Discouraged and disappointed, Rabbit went home. All right, he's so sad. He had to go home without any carrots, and now he can't make his carrot soup. But look! What are they doing? These are all the animals from the story. Look really closely. What does it look like they made? I think they made his carrot soup. Surprise! Said all the animals as Rabbit walked in. Look at all the bowls on the table. What do they have in them? Carrot soup. They made him his favorite as a surprise. And then in the back, there's a nice recipe to make your own carrot soup if you wanted. So I hope you enjoyed that fun story. So those were two really nice stories of friendship and helping out and making people feel really good. So we're going to do one last activity. I'm going to grab my pot that we had, and if you remember, so we're going to play like a little memory game, but we're also going to work on our letter sounds tonight. So if you remember what we had put in our soup that we sang, the stone goes in the soup. So we're going to work on what each one of those ingredients, what letter it starts with. All right, you ready? Going to go like this. Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a C? All right, what sound does the letter C make? K, k, k. What ingredient was in our pot that sounds like k, k, starts like that? Did you say carrot? You are right. Okay, we're going to take that out. You ready? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a P? What sound does P make? P, p. Do you remember what ingredient was in here? Started with P, p. Potato. Good job. Did you guess it? All right. Are you ready for another one? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a P? Do you remember? All right, what does P sound like? P, p. What ingredient starts with P, p? Pepper. Did you guess it? All right, we did 3. We have a few more. Ready? Okay, now we have, we have 4 more ingredients. You ready? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a C? Okay, we had a C ingredient that was carrot, but there's another ingredient that starts with a C, and this one, the C sound is S, S. Do you know what that is? Celery. Okay, so sometimes, even though these 2 ingredients start with a C, their sound is different. Celery is celery, and this is carrot. some letters can have two sounds. All right, we have 3 more ingredients. Are you ready? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a S? All right, there's 2 ingredients in our pot that starts with an S. Can you guess one? What sound does S make? Stone. Do you remember we put that stone in? Okay. We're going to do another S sound. Ready? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a S? Do you remember the S sound? Soaked. Good job. All right, we have 1 more ingredient left. Are you ready? Stir it and stir it. What could it be? What could it be that starts with a P? Okay, we had another P ingredient. That was pepper. This kind of pepper. What is in here? That's a different kind of pepper. Do you remember? That's right. It's a spice that's pepper. Maybe you like pepper on your food. All right. Give yourselves a big super clap. You were awesome tonight. I hope you had fun with our soup story time. We're going to sing It's Time to Say Goodbye to All Our Friends. Are you ready? Well, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Well, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Wave your hands and blink your eyes. Well, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really love Baldwin Bedtime Books, and knowing that families are together, watching this in their warm, cozy houses. I hope you have a great night and a great weekend with your family, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.